It is not the morning time, but hey, good evening anyways. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 67 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Azorback Senpai, and joining me across the table is none other than my co-host, Waluigi.
Good evening, folks. Long time no see. Wow. Time's been going by fast. It's almost the end of the year.
AJ's not here with us, unfortunately, because, Mondays he can't make it because he has work the next morning, so... Sundays, you'll see his lovable face. AJ, we miss you, and also, fuck you, so...
Genshin simp.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get on with our guest today, and that is...
Hey, Sean here, on Instagram, Blandish, or Blansky.
I think it's Blansky.
Yeah, it's Blansky. So, avid video gamer, avid Warhammer player, hobbyist. Sorry, I don't play as much Warhammer as I should, so I can't say that. But pass it on to Will.
Will, one of the co-owners of Flynn's, do a little bit of 40K, but
yeah,
I don't have any
bit.
social media, so
yeah, a little bit of 40K. That guy's been on Tarkov the whole time.
Tarkov, okay. Tarkov.
I don't blame him.
Jesus.
That's solid game.
Hunter.
Yeah, my name's Hunter, or Supreme Ruler Suburban over on Discord. Painter, video gamer, artist, streamer, everything video game and Warhammer related. Been playing Warhammer for about 2 years now. It's all these guys' fault for saying the word exterminatus to me and getting me hooked.
Exterminatus.
And yeah, I just love the
It's
hobby.
a word video. It does have one word video.
Yep. That's all you need.
That's all it took.
Alrighty, and this episode of the podcast will be available on all audio hosting platforms such as SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Amazon. I mean, just Google us, South Florida Gamers Podcast.
We're there.
Yeah, we're there. So, other than that, let's get on with our topics today, and that is, what is Warhammer 40K? Because I've been seeing it around, and for something like this, it has existed for years. I believe back in the 90s, it started to grow out, or
Yeah, late 80s, I think it was when it first.
okay, all right. So, me who who doesn't know much of it, even though I know a little something through memes and content created by people that is using Warhammer 40K.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I slowly started to learn about it, but I know that there is more to Warhammer 40K than just a simple video game. Like, there's a lot of lore. Like, I'm talking about textbook thick, like this big.
Which we own a lot of.
You could spend probably over $1,000 on the books.
That's
on
like
the
a
books
nerdy
alone.
Bible, literally.
And they're
Yeah.
keep making them too, so it's not like...
They just released one actually yesterday. They released more pieces of the lore to continue the ongoing story that is 40K.
Yeah, so there's a lot of depth to this game, and we're gonna let these guys go ahead and explain what is Warhammer 40K. So, any one of y'all have the mic? Y'all let us know, what is Warhammer 40K. Like, we want to know about it. Like, tabletop, the game, however you guys want to approach this, we want to know.
Well, Warhammer, just in general, not just 40K, but Warhammer in general is just a huge world of war. That's what it is. In the far future, which is one of the things that is branded for them, their logo is, in the far future there is nothing but war, and that's essentially it is. It's a bunch, in a nutshell, a bunch of different factions and races and planets and species fighting over control of the universe. That is, Warhammer. And I said it before. I blame these guys, and then Chris. Shout out to Chris, who's not here. Are the reasons why I'm even into Warhammer, because they said the word exterminatus, which is the complete annihilation and destruction of a planet, because they feel it's unfit for them to live in. Exactly, that was my thought.
Or it's too much for them to expend the manpower to try to take it back.
Yeah.
So they're willing to just exterminate everything on the planet so they don't have to fight anymore. So it's just like, wash it away, we'll just go somewhere.
So it doesn't become too much of a threat. And like that, to me, same reaction you had was like, whoa, what is that? I need to know more about it. Because blowing up stuff is cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So
Absolutely.
that, got me into a lore video, and it just sent me into a downward spiral of
Into the rabbit hole.
into the rabbit hole. And
It's a deep one.
it's such a deep. There's so much deep lore in this. It's like the greatest story you've ever heard that's still ongoing, which keeps me coming back because it's like our favorite band. We want to hear their newest stuff. It's the same thing. This lore, they come out with a new book. I want to know what's going on.
Huh.
Interesting. So with Warhammer 40K, I want to know: are there any good guys in 40K?
It's, how would you say, it's all in your perception.
So is it like subjective?
It would be the
Exactly.
salamanders. I will always read.
Talking to the mic.
It will be the salamanders. I know I said that all messed up. Salamanders are probably the most passionate starbies that you can find.
Eldar.
Well, you know what? Human-wise, yes.
Human-wise,
I'm sorry.
It's just like
tick for
war.
tat.
Yeah, exactly.
Tick for tat.
There's no really good guys.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like war in like, let's say, the real world. It's who's the good guy. It's whatever side you're on.
Well, what about the Eldar? What's his name? That helped resurrect Gilliman.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he be a good guy?
Yeah, he would be a good guy to their fact. So you've got these different, races. Again, like I said, the humans, which would be Gilliman, which is their
Primarch of the
you would say
Ultramarines.
Primarch or their leader. And then you've got the Eldar, who are these alien, super advanced race of like elven kind of creatures.
Exactly.
And there are certain borders and ties between them, which all ties into the lore. But each species or race has their own
Agenda.
exactly. And it's
And
like
it's race specific too.
Exactly.
And also faction, because the humans are very ruthless, as we are now, and there are a lot of intertwined battles between loyalists, separatists, and rebellion or traitors.
yeah,
there's
it's
a
deep,
big-
man. It is deep.
That's layers on layers.
Yes.
Yeah, Warhammer is
And you're thinking like when the Horus Heresy happened to where we're at currently, it's 10,000 years. So a lot of the Horus Heresy books and lore is 10,000 years from now.
Huh.
And when you travel through the warp too, time doesn't exist. So a lot of these legions that went into the warp that were traitors have no concept of time, and they come out as when they were traitors when they went into that other mission.
Yeah, and you can think of the Horus Heresy as almost like the Great War.
It's like
That's
a civil
when
war.
For
when
humans.
shit all went down. Because you had
I've heard so much about it, and I wanted to know like what came about the Horus Heresy, as to like because everyone when everyone talks about Warhammer, they always mention the Horus Heresy because, as you said, like that was the thing that kicked off everything.
That was the pinnacle of kind of what propelled everything that's in motion now in the 40K universe. It's when all the Primarchs and everything, and the ruler. I'm not necessarily her.
The Emperor of
The
Mankind.
Emperor of Mankind.
Oh yeah, I was listening about that.
So the Emperor of Mankind took a step back and appointed the War Master, which is his favorite son, Horus Lupercal.
Horus Lupercal.
And then Lupercal ended up getting stabbed by a corrupt blade, ended up turning into a Chaos Worshipper, and then believed that he was better than the Emperor and he was better suited to be the Emperor.
Yeah.
It's literally a story of betrayal.
By his own
Why
son.
has no one made this into a film is the real question.
There's too
It'd
much.
probably
It's
be
tough.
too much to handle, and they would not
It's
do it
very,
justice.
very gruesome because the world of 40K is
Point.
very graphic. You're literally watching like the lens and all kinds of stuff just get obliterated, and
Huh.
there's lots of fire.
They, Horus ended up betraying his own legion and multiple other legions, and his own people, just to thin out the horde of who were traitors and not.
Yeah, there's so much like Horus Heresy. It's like the Isvan 5, then you got this band.
I think it's
all
like
the-
what 20 books.
20 books, I think, in the series,
20
and
books.
if you're listening to them on audiobook, they're like 10 hours long each.
And those are like the main books. Then you got like side.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to hear anything about One Piece or Grey's Anatomy or any long anime series.
Oh no.
I'm still reluctant to get into One Piece.
They're bittersweet because some authors are not that solid.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of solid authors.
Okay.
What I would do is pick and choose the books that might.
I would say if you literally look into like the whole Grimm, read the Night Lords trilogy.
Yeah.
Or you can look up a lot of dudes on YouTube do a lot of lore videos. Unfortunately, I can't think of any on the top of my head.
Oh, I was driving listening to one guy.
Rose, these, and you got Lord Baltimore.
It's great. It's great for like trips. I went to like Orlando and Tampa, and I just had that on the whole.
You just have to have some sci-fi in you.
Sleep, it's pretty solid.
You sleep to that?
Well, I mean, yeah. So, some of these guys are British with like real drony voices, and you're out. You're out.
Well, I've also listened to it several times, so I'm just like, oh, I know this story.
And then I actually own the physical copies too, because I have got a nice little bookshelf growing.
Same here.
Okay, that's neat.
Yeah.
Little black library.
Yeah, so it looks like I read.
Because I think I remember reading that the Emperor of Mankind does not move at all,
no.
and he's telepathic.
Well,
like,
now
psychic
that
whispers.
he got killed by his son Horus, in a sense, he sits on a golden throne, and he has to get 1,000 psychers, or is it 10,000?
It was, I think it's 10,000 psychers sacrificed to him
daily,
every day to stay alive,
just so he can
or conscious.
Well, yeah, just so he can project his psychic abilities, so that humans can travel through the web or
the warp. Yeah.
Sorry,
safely.
Webway was something he was working on.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Side quest again. Side quest.
But my question is like with the Emperor of Mankind, like, okay, if he's dead or whatnot, why keep him alive? And granted, yes, it's because so that way it's to keep the warp, so that way humans can travel, through it. But wouldn't there be an alternate version or another solution to where they don't have to keep him alive and they could just,
Supposedly he's more powerful in his state now.
It would cut off all resources for them
or he would manifest into himself again or become a chaos god.
Yeah,
there's like kind of weird fan theories. But right now he keeps demons from coming into terror right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the warp isn't just like a travel. It's like you're basically going through hell. The warp is hell.
Think
really?
of what the hell is his name? Nightcrawler. You know how he opens up dimension to another, as they always say, it smells like brimstone. So he's opening up a dimension to hell. So that's pretty much what's happening
what the
there.
warp is.
But like a long-term effect.
Yeah, but they open up anywhere.
Yeah, and you start mutating and growing different different appendages.
Yeah, so it's like the warp is like there's like the traders, and then you got like their different gods. So like the warp is basically hell. That's where like demons come into play, and
you've got your main chaos gods that pretty much reign over that, and then they're their own sub factions of armies that you can play as well, and have their own back stories.
Yeah.
And
I was listening to some about the gods like Slavesh, Nurgle.
Yeah, those are all chaos gods. Yeah,
I'm
chaos,
like, wow, that's a whole different faction within each god and worshipper.
Yeah, and I play Black Legion, which is the amalgamation of all of them.
Huh.
Pretty much.
So it's like an all-around kind of style of gameplay.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
You can pick and choose what chaos
god they're aligned to. Yeah.
Okay.
But you never have a solid.
Correct. Yeah, you follow a guy who's like supposed to be next in line to be one of the chaos.
So one could take power from you, from what I was reading, and one can give you more if you worship them a little more. You get mad. There's power struggles between the chaos gods.
The causes and consequences of your own actions.
Oh yeah, and they fight each other all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
It's
chaos. It's
like I said, side quests.
Over that
all
is
like
literal
side
chaos.
quests.
So I got a quick question. So for the tabletopping, does it have to be like a specific form or some kind of like order you have to go through?
Yeah. So like it's basically you pick your legion or quote unquote chaos god, because like chaos is a faction, but there's sub factions. Like I play Iron Warriors, which is chaos, but they're a legion. So, but the thing is, you can't really mix legions now. So you either got to pick
one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything is kind of divided into their own legion or their own, because you can play straight Nurgle demons. So you can pick one god and play that thing. So it's very like that's how they kind of separate and differentiate.
unless you get like this model called Bellacore, who's like a giant demon.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to own one, even though I don't play demons. I just had to have them. And you can literally, you need to, in order to play him in his army. He would be your leader, your HQ. You can select one unit of each demon from each different god, and that's how you have to play him. It's required to have one unit from
Interesting.
each different chaos god.
Yeah, he's the demon of
He's like the
Undivided.
first.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the first, so he can do everything.
So
If
like,
you ever play Warhammer Total War 3, you'll
what
see
was I
that
gonna
dude.
say? Oh, well, what I was gonna say is, so you have an HQ, and you have leaders, and then you have your subordinates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like a whole chain of command.
It's like a real army. Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense. I was trying to gather about it because I do see some people play, and I'm trying to wonder how they organize things or how they tidy it up.
They
Okay,
also have
yeah.
morale checks. So they have
Morale
morale.
Yep.
Morale.
Okay, morale.
So if they see their buddies getting blown off, you have to roll to see if they get scared and flee, or if
Okay.
they get to stay on the field.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's a very in-depth chess,
that's
if you think about it.
That's what I was ready to think about.
Very in-depth chess. That's a great way to explain Warhammer tabletop, because even when either on Sundays when I see you guys play and y'all just like moving around, you're getting a lot of dice and whatnot, and I'm just like,
And I see like the rollers and everything. I'm just like, oh,
I'm like-
shit. They're getting serious.
they're getting measuring tape, and I'm just
yeah.
like, what the fuck is
I'm
going
like,
on?
let me walk faster.
Nah, man.
These guys are gonna pull me
Check out
in.
What you're doing? We're like, what you guys got going?
Yeah, because I mean, we use the tape measures because everything is measured in movement. Each unit moves a certain amount of inches.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it depends. So and then it all goes into strategy. It's a lot of strategy, tabletop tactics is what it comes down to. And you got, like you said, your HQ, your troop choice, your elites, your fast attacks. You know, you go down your line, and then you curate and build your list. Yeah, and then
Yeah, because I see some people like 3D print certain backgrounds and such.
Yep.
Is that the cover that's classified, or
Well, what do you mean by 3D print the?
like the walls, environment? And
Oh
such?
yeah, all those environments have
Certain rules.
terrain features.
Huh.
So it's you can get behind the wall. It's benefit of cover. If you're
That's
moving through, let's like a bush,
clever.
it's -2 to your movement because it's difficult terrain, and it's all plays into your strategy of your army.
Interesting.
And then some armies have different, like they have different, like my legions aren't warriors, so I can ignore cover. If somebody's in cover, I can ignore that. So there's different things for different traits.
Huh.
Or different legions have different traits, I should say.
That's a lot
So
of
it's like
stuff.
ones are
That's
good
impressive.
have magic, one has good movement,
Yeah.
like one has all around. You know what I mean? So it's like you're playing to. So like some legions don't they don't need cover, but some do need cover.
Okay.
So that's when the whole terrain comes into play very much.
Specialized.
Yeah, it specializes in different.
And for movement, what kind of dice do you guys use?
Regular 6-sided dice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just use a lot of them.
Because I'm thinking like D&D where you have like a 30-sided dice and you have to choose the highest corner.
No, it's
Oh, thank goodness.
That
That's a
bad.
different beast.
Yeah, that's why I suggest picking your faction or whatever legion you want to go with, and just sticking with that for a good while so you can understand them, learn them, and really succeed on the tabletop.
Now I have another question on top of that: is what is the best faction to go with? Because granted, there's so many factions.
Depends who you ask.
You are
but-
shaving ice on top of that comment.
The Warhammer pop-off.
No,
yeah.
the real question is whose Primarch is better.
It's not Logard. I found that out.
Wait, what's a Primarch? Hold on.
Yeah, going
So-
back to the Horus Heresy.
So we're gonna
take a step back now.
rewind. So the God Emperor made 20 children in his image with his own genes.
Gene seeds.
Genes. Yeah, but gene seeds. So you gotta think these Primarchs have like twice the amount of organs we have. They're
Super soldiers.
8
Yeah,
foot
super-
tall.
yeah.
They're massive people. With cybernetics, think of Master Chief amplified
Okay.
with multiple organs.
That
So he's got
sounds like-
titanium bones,
2 hearts.
Yeah.
2 hearts,
Multiple organs.
2 livers.
Why would you have 2
probably
stomachs?
4 lungs.
And when they die, their spirit gets taken out and put into another.
Anyways, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, side story.
The God Emperor
Dreadnoughts.
made these things called Primarchs, which were his sons. And Chaos decided to go, nope, and scatter them across the universe.
Huh.
So the God Emperor just started going around finding his kids.
Interesting.
And funny enough, Alfarius was the first one to be found on his own home planet. Terra.
Yeah.
He's not a
There-
traitor, but he is.
That's another side.
Yeah, but then like the sons get split up into
check 'em out.
traitors
Yeah,
and
that's
loyals.
interesting.
And
But like I'm gonna say, check out the World Eaters if you really want a really sad, messed up story about how this Warhammer stuff goes. It's gnarly and sad, but shows light of how grim dark this scenario is.
huh.
Interesting. Real interesting. So, how many factions are there? Is there like, with the 20 Sons, is there like 20 factions? Because I know you have your Ultramarines. I know there's the Black Templars. I know there's the Blood Angels. I know there's the Orcs. There's the
Inquisitors. Wait.
Oh,
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Separate?
Okay.
you have a whole poster.
So unfortunately,
What?
during when the Unification Wars were going on,
Mm-hmm.
and the Horus Heresy took place after, there were 20 legions of Primarchs, which were, human super soldier dudes.
Mm-hmm.
He made legions.
One
for
legion
them.
per.
Yeah.
Yeah, one legion per Primarch. After the Horus Heresy, I think the Codex, the Stardust Codex came out, and no one faction could, or a Astartes group could have multiple soldiers. So you had to branch off. So now there's untold.
Yeah, it's like
I can make a
unimaginable
fan
amount.
fiction.
Yeah.
I can make a
Yeah.
fan legion. if
Yeah,
I want,
Really?
you could play them.
Which
There's
I've done.
The Rising Suns, my favorite fan-made legion, were like samurais.
There you go.
Yeah, they're so cool.
So this
Yeah.
is what Games Workshop did at the time, was pretty much, hey, there's these unknown legions. You can make your own.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Interesting.
So if that's the human faction, but you also have the Inquisition, Adaptus
Oh,
Mechanicus.
yeah, I mean, you've got
God, I can't even remember.
so you've
all.
got the simplest way is Imperium of Man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Chaos. You've got
Yeah, Inquisition, because that's not really.
Xenos, which would be your alien races like your Drakari and your Tau and stuff like that. And then
you got to say Necrons. Those are my favorite.
Necrons also Xeno. Shout out to the Necrons. And then now we've got the Leagues of Votan, which is my new army, because they're not really Xenos, but they're not really Imperium,
They genetically modified themselves to adapt to their home planet,
and they're all
mine.
clones.
Wow.
Yeah, they're all man-made clones. So they're really kind of floating out, but they're brand new, so we don't have too much lore on them just yet. So that's up in the air.
What I want to see is the Ratlings.
We'll leave them in Warcry.
No.
I mean, there's just so much when it comes to just Warhammer. It's just like it could take for days, if not months, maybe years, just to get over everything, to learn everything about it. And it's just like, even when you get to that point, it's just like, no, there's still more to learn.
Oh yeah, we're just
Yeah,
still learning
there's so-
stuff every
yeah.
day.
Yeah, but we all know that World of Warcraft was supposed to be Warhammer.
I can see a lot of
Why?
similarities to it.
That,
A lot of
that was
similarities
like the whole
to it.
trope back in the day, that Blizzard made Warcraft to be Warhammer.
Yeah,
No,
that's
but
right.
it
Games Workshop did not like it at all. So,
Wow.
So they already had a pretty much complete game, and so they came out with Warcraft.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we get StarCraft, which is another offshoot of
So
that.
Gamecraft really told freaking World of Warcraft to fuck off.
Not
have its
really
own
fuck
thing.
off. They didn't like. I don't think they liked how the game was looking, and it just kind of backfired for them
Oh,
in a
okay.
sense, but not really.
Oh,
'Cause,
unfortunate.
yeah, they're doing very well. Games Workshop.
Oh, in hindsight, now if you really think about it, if they had that push on Blizzard, Blizzard sucks now. So who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
But I kind of dodged a little bit of a
Still
bullet.
love Call of Duty.
Well, now, yes.
A future bullet.
yeah. So just info.
Now, before we move on to our next topic, I do want to talk about these figurines and whatnot, just to explain it to people, because I'm pretty sure someone in the chat or someone watching is like, what are these things that you guys are showing on the table or whatnot? Like, one looks like a tank, and we have another one which is a tank. Like, what's like the differences with them or whatnot? If you guys could explain.
So, like you said, like it all comes back down to the whole chess. You know, more confusing chess.
What are we going to talk about?
So you got basically rooks and stuff.
This is a personal favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything has a how would you say it? Everything has a different
Purpose?
purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you're like these are like, I guess, let me see, these are like regular attack marines. So these are basically your pawns. You go
Okay.
forward, you have your holding your piece of Warhammer. There's objectives when you play tabletop
points.
So that's how you
There
score
are
points.
objectives?
So there's
That was
objectives.
just straight up war. Literally.
No, there's
There are game modes like that,
Yeah.
but most 90% of the time it's for objectives.
Yeah, so like you have your regular attack marines. These are your pawns. Basically, move them up, set them on objectives. They're just there to secure something.
Oh.
Then you got like this is 30K, but this is 40K.
This right
Same
Looks fresh.
same appeal of backline fire.
Yes, literally.
You know what I mean?
A little bit more newer as far as
Yeah.
technology. Yeah, this is a personal favorite of mine. I own one. It's built and painted, but in different colors. So they give you this with the model painted on the box of the Ultramarines, but you can paint it in whatever legion you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see on the back here. That's again in the Ultramarines color scheme. And
Holy
these are so much fun to build and put together. You clip them off a sprue, comes on a sheet of plastic. You clip them off, you can kind of model them, and you get different weapon options that you can select and put on or magnetize, which is something I like to do, so I have all the options.
That's
and
smart.
you can also transport these pawns up the field because they don't have great movement, but you can give them that great movement with the assist of your tanks and other stuff like that. Bit overcosted for what you might need it for, but I like running this in my unit because everything costs points to run. So you kind of have to balance out what.
Can you run these in 40K?
Yeah, you can run these.
Yeah, because they have versions of the Sicarian battle tank in 40K.
Huh.
What I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? So,
Different utilities for different.
okay.
Different minis, or
Yeah, if you actually, when you open these up, they have a rule book inside there, and it lets you know
What?
all their statistics.
Yeah, all their stats.
And what bonuses they have and what they can do. And also, depending on what build you have, it'll let you know that also.
Huh.
Yeah, different guns have different.
Attack profiles.
Yeah, attacks
But
different.
like, you don't have to build it towards that specific. If you want to play a fun game with somebody, you can just like build it and have that weapon that you thought was cool looking. The rule of cool is cool, and then just let somebody know what you're running and remember it, and then play it.
Yeah,
So
it's like you
don't
just let
have
them
to
know
be
it's a
stuck
flamer
with-
or it's a glass can or
you're not
whatever.
stuck.
Okay.
You're not stuck with the option that you built it with. So don't
Unless you're
feel-
playing tournaments.
Yeah, unless
well,
you're playing
like,
tournaments.
That's
That's a whole
another talk
nother
right now.
league. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
But like, don't feel discouraged on building it and then not picking the right weapon. That
Build what you like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Real cool.
understandable. I was ready to ask, painting. How much work is put into painting?
Depends on the person.
I'm a maniac. I'm a maniac, and I have to have all my seam lines and mold lines
Like,
tits, and then my painting style also has to match.
so would you go like immediately hand brush, repaint as primer? Like, there's a lot of.
Oh well, usually you trim up the model, do your best. You
Oh,
don't-
okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to go crazy. Like for me, I'm just a weirdo. But just paint it till you like it.
Okay.
Like prime it, which will help seal in the base coat that you'll do later on, and just paint it like you like it. You don't,
Okay.
You don't have to go that crazy.
Because I've seen some tiny brushes, and I've been wondering about this for the longest time.
Yeah. Well, tiny brushes help, but
Like
No,
just a
just-
piece of horsehair.
yeah, well, I have that horsehair style brush, but you don't have to have that.
Oh,
if you're
thank God.
starting Out. Just,
Yeah, definitely
Just
not.
buy like one of those little variety packs from here,
Michael's or-
Flynn's.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
shameless advertisement.
Ask the guys here at Flynn's what you want to do, and they're pretty knowledgeable. They are all artists, so they can give you
Ah.
info.
For sure.
Or ask any of the guys in the Discord.
Ah, well said.
How do you paint, Will?
How do I paint? Three colors. Three colors. No, I've been getting into painting more. I've been knocking stuff out.
You've been doing really good.
I wish you could paint more because it always looks so good. It always looks so fire.
You know, I'm gonna look at the Discord right now and just see if I can witness some.
We got to get you an Instagram for your art.
Yeah, I need to.
Oh yeah, you got to just search his name and then scroll vigorously through it.
My curiosity is kicking. Oh no, I'm looking at Gunpla. Whoopsies.
I get lucky enough. I get him in the DMs. He's like, bro, check it out. And I'm like, thank you for blessing me with you because
that's a homie thing. I love it.
I tell him all the time. I'm like, bro, you got to paint more. It looks so good. He goes, man, I'm working on it.
I agree. Yeah, you've always done pretty solid work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning.
You're like,
but
I finally did something.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
yes. It looks amazing.
It's one of those. It's just patience and sitting down painting is very new, very rare and time consuming. Is just
Will
like
is out of his element.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part of the hobby though. It's part of like sitting down, taking your mind off things. That's forcing myself to sit down and take my mind off.
What I did last night, man. I couldn't sleep, so I woke up at like
you knocked out those 5 terms, right?
I didn't knock them all out, but that's like a progression because that brown is hard to lay on that black.
This is all the good detail. Holy smokes.
So, yeah. But I ended up, like, finding my old brush that's, like, this long and was able to, like, shrink that shoulder. Dude, it worked out so well. And I'm just like, whoop. I'm like...
Oh, and it feels so good when you hit that crisp line. You're like...
It caked up on the topper part, but it was, like...
Throw some wash over it, it'd be fine.
No, I took my
hide it with the Nolan, bro.
No, I'm looking at all these details right now from like everybody.
I took the other brush and just.
Oh yeah.
Once I hit that wash on it.
Yeah, we have some serious talent.
Yes.
If
you guys aren't on a Flynn's Discord, please be on it.
Yeah, we always post a lot of pictures and stuff.
We are the most active.
Rick was,
right, somebody.
Fuck you.
He's not wrong though.
I told him we're the most active.
I had to use the 40K for how productive you guys are.
We stay pretty active. I mean, for me, my painting, I came into 40K as
really good.
As an artist. I do a lot of drawing, a lot of painting on canvas. So when I found out I could paint these things and make my own army and stuff, I was like super into it. And I've knocked out a couple 2,000 point armies already.
You killed it more than
2,000?
2,000 points worth of miniatures. I have more of each, but
don't talk about money wise.
Yeah, please.
Probably more on that.
And for me, like again, I just started this new army thanks to Will and Flynn's, and I've already knocked out 20 warriors, and they're like this big. And I just sit at my desk and I have everything lined out because I'm super.
Do you like have one of those like special magnifying glass to make sure you see the exact?
I don't. I'm not blind yet, and I've got my light. I've got my paint handle.
That all the time. It's like, how do you see that? I'm like, I just do.
I mean, give me at least 10
more years.
Emperor
gave me these eyes.
Yeah. And I love painting. You know, I've my whole Instagram devoted to just Warhammer stuff and. Yeah, just painting for me is where it's at. I put my headphones on, listen to lore videos to get more knowledge about it. And
me too.
Or podcasts. Or
once you really pick your legion that you play Warhammer, like you start diving into that legion.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm loving the Emperor's Children.
Oh yeah.
Like and World Eaters. World Eaters are so tragic, man. Especially.
And it's kind of funny, like you pick a legion, then you start reading them more, and you're like, "Yeah, that's me."
And you fall in love with that legion.
No, it's not me. It's never me because
and I have a feeling that
is a fictional character.
And I have a feeling that's going to happen to me once I start painting my Black Templars.
Yes, yeah, we're actually talking.
I'm not falling into this.
I feel like I could show you the Rising Suns. You'd be like, "That's me."
No, that's going to be. You're in
dude, then I think I've got a few gifts I have to give you. Then they're already printed out and ready. They have got katanas in hand.
No,
he's gonna
be a Warhammer simp.
Nah, he'll just be.
Dude, I've got you the thing too. I have him on my shelf ready.
A girl with the samurai sword simp forever.
You right. You 100% right.
Don't worry, we'll get Ben in here too. We'll get Ben into Warhammer.
Yes,
I've been saying that for years.
We have the files for the Gundam heads.
So it's gonna be Super Weeb Nation.
Oh,
yeah, he's gonna be playing Sisters. Watch.
Okay.
All right, moving on to our next topic. What are y'all thoughts on the Warhammer games on PC and console?
Ooh.
They've been hitting pretty hard.
In a good way or in a bad
I was
way?
ready to say that.
It's a mix. Like they've been hitting pretty hard with the Total Wars. You got the new Darktide, Vermintide. Vermintide's always, shown its.
It's always been solid.
So Darktide just pretty much amped up the game a bit.
Yeah,
especially
the gameplay looks nice.
Especially for 40K. What was the last one? Material, or it's like a Diablo
Dungeon
style.
crawly kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did see something about that as well.
They just released a Sisters of Battle DLC, which is like bittersweet.
I saw the cinematic for it. It looked pretty
Yeah,
cool.
people are complaining it feels clunky and just not well done, but I'm not buying into
Yeah.
the game. The game plays very well, and I like looters, but Darktide's hit the head on the nail.
I love
Straight
how
up.
specific these games are. I didn't realize Warhammer had that many video games.
Yeah, Warhammer's got
And I
a
will
lot of
say
games.
Warhammer 40K, Dawn of War 1 and 2, Total War, Warhammer,
Dawn of War 3 is garbage. Please don't play it.
Calypso Media.
they screwed that game up with all the patches too. Dawn of War 2 is pretty solid. Dawn of War 1, where it's at, if you're into old school RTSs. Battlefleet Gothica.
I was right. I just
Decent.
saw that.
That's a space warfare.
Eve.
No, not even Eve. It's not even like it's its own genre. It does not plays very weird. Like the Chaos expansion for Dawn of War, Battlefleet Gothica 2, garbage. Don't even get it. Like,
0 out of 10.
like,
Don't
it
recommend.
is like
Oh my God.
the audio for it. Like it sounds like somebody just voiced it over really quick, and the missions are just dumb. Don't even play it.
Yeah, I
Just
saw the
play the
trailer
base
of
game.
Necromunda Hired Gun.
Yeah.
That is, I have not.
It looks
not
kinda-
messed
To
with
me,
that.
it was.
It looks-
It's a 50-50. It was really buggy.
Okay.
It was definitely a step forward in the right direction, which would move us into
Played
Space
Darktide.
Marine 2.
Played Darktide.
Darktide. We've been playing some
Space
Darktide.
Marine 2 can be really awesome if they follow suit with the original and then just expand it a little bit. Because multiplayer was pretty solid. So I think that would be a good thing for them. So have the PvE aspect, the
Would be
campaign.
cool to see some PvE
Like,
stuff.
I know people complain that it's all about PvP now. Just make a solid campaign, people. Like we will buy it.
And that's what I want more out of Darktide, because I know we just got out of the beta, and we played a lot of the beta together, and we streamed it too.
Yeah.
But I
wow.
would
Thing
want
is,
more
you're not
story.
going to get that out of like a Vermintide type
I know,
game.
and that's what I hope they do.
I'm
Yeah, the
actually
Vermintide
surprised.
gameplay looked good.
Yeah.
Super good, because for a long time you did have this mixed bag of Warhammer games, and I feel like the community wanted.
Dude,
a
they
good
definitely
game.
Games Workshop push out licenses like crazy.
Yeah.
To
I-
anybody that could build a game for Warhammer,
That's
it's just
why
like do it.
It was still a hit or miss, but with Vermintide,
Do
they
it.
nailed it. And then they expanded on that and like gave us that gameplay mechanic, and was like, here's the last gun, go shoot some things now. And I'm like,
What I would
hell
like,
yeah.
I would like a Total War style, but not on the scale that they have. 40K. Like
That's what we have. That's what we have. TTS. We can do a
Well, no,
tabletop
it's
simulator.
like,
The heck is Chaos Bane?
oh man, don't worry about it.
If he hasn't heard about it, I'd be like, no, he's
No,
not a
I've heard
gamer.
about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
You can take it off your wish list.
Because I'm seeing like games like Inquisitor, Martyr.
Yeah, that's
Inquisitor was okay,
Martyr's pretty good. That's like a Diablo style.
Oh, that was the game you were talking about.
Yeah, like the freaking shooting things and then the bodies blowing up.
Wow.
Very worth it. I bought the game for $5 and just doing that for like 2 hours. I was happy.
As long
and then
as long as you're happy.
And then getting a grenade launcher and just grenade launching like Nurglings and Nurg infested cultists
Jeez.
was awesome.
Blowing up demons is always fun.
Yeah.
It does sound.
So that is the second thing I want to talk about. I would like to see other, like, for Dark Tide and Vermintide type things. Can it be something other than Nurgle?
Yeah, I was literally thinking about that too. I was like, it's always Nurgle, but there's like 4 other.
I would like to actually see a Gene Stealer cultist, because I think that would play pretty well. Because they
Give
are
me an angry Corn Berserker. Just running at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
don't know
like,
if I want to go up against the Corn Berserker. Those guys are kind of tough.
Well,
it was like some variety.
I would like to see a Gene Stealer Cold Hive.
I feel like Gene Stealer would be cool.
Yeah, because you got, people that are infected with, or it could be a poxwalker running up to you, they're just normal, and then you got infected Tyranid strains coming at you.
It'd be cool to fight some Tyranids, because I mean, we get the flamethrowers and we get weapons and stuff, so it'd be cool to fight some bugs.
Yeah, exactly. So that's more Dawn of War quality games too. RTS is for the shit.
Okay. Good. So, for me, since I mostly play on console, I remember the one game that I last played of Warhammer was Space Marine. That was back on the PS3.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like 11 years ago, I think it was now, right?
Solid game.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when I was like playing it, I was just like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was killing shit.
You knew orcs
Sounds like a good
needed to
time.
die.
Sounds
Yeah.
right.
I was killing shit, and then I just ended up stopped playing it because I think at that time I was playing other games, so I never went back into it. But I just remember just killing shit. Then this meter goes up, then it highlights. I use the meter, and then I kill even more stuff. I do something awesome. I'm like, okay, this was giving me some kind of God of War kind of vibes or whatnot. So I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. Granted, I never finished it. I do regret that. But now with Space Marine 2 coming out, I'm excited to play it. And
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Game Awards last year that they were showing about.
yeah, and I was just like, wow, I was not expecting this. Like once I saw like how the one soldier, I was just like, Warhammer.
Yep.
Warhammer.
So
And then I saw the Tyranids, and I was just like, Warhammer.
Yeah, I'm
He
looking.
knows all the names already. He's in. He's in. We've got him. We've got him.
He already
Yep.
knows about the
I can't save you.
We've got him.
My goodness.
That's what we need. We need a Black Templar game,
Oh, that'd be great.
and just like them just
great.
swinging their swords around and just murking shit.
I mean, I saw the same
This is what
trailer,
they do.
and like I was so happy to see that like we're gonna have something great on console, because I'm primarily a console player up until recently, until I got into the PC world, and it almost gave me a reason to pick up my PlayStation again. And I just really hope they push that narrative story, because again, the lore is so deep, like we just discussed.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much content that they can just put in there that would be great for us.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is I think he's hitting up the Indominus War because of how he looks. So he's like, what the hell are those called? This like even better.
Primaris.
Yeah, thank you.
The
Yeah.
bigger
So they're
bigger versions.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. A Primaris Space Marine just clobbering
that's what he
things.
is.
Yeah.
That's like literally what they said he is now.
They have different versions of the Space Marine. The older ones are called Firstborns. They're a little bit shorter. The Primaris are going to be a little bit taller.
A lot taller.
Yeah,
A little bit.
They like dwarf them, by
Yeah.
By 2 feet.
Good
Understandable.
Yeah.
So the Blood Angel, Mephistos or whatever the hell his name
Yeah,
is.
Mephiston.
Yeah.
He got turned into one of those.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the Flesh Tearers, which is a sub-faction of the Blood Angels, their leader despises the Primaris because he's like, we don't need them to help us. We're good enough as we are. And he goes on a whole, but they're all angry and stuff.
Yeah, it's you get angry.
Angry Space Marine stuff. Yeah.
Wait, that's a meme chapter, by the way. The Angry Space Marines. We'll have to talk about that one day.
Dear God.
It's pretty much like a Doom guy. They're too angry to die.
Yeah.
Really?
For the Emperor.
And their sigil is a angry smiley face.
Hey Waluigi, if you want to look at some content, some funny content for Warhammer, and you guys know where I'm going to go with this,
Yep.
Flash Gits.
Oh, I was ready to say about. I know about Flash Kits.
Yeah,
That was the first thing I wanted to respond. I'm like, let me be mature in this podcast for
Oh,
a
no,
second.
it's out there.
But the freaking furries is the funniest.
We must purge the furries.
And then they fall into the trap. I'm like, oh no. Not Lola Bunny.
I get into Warhammer, and then Will's like, "Oh, cool, check this out." And I was like, "I'm like, I hate Warhammer." Yeah.
Too stupid.
I was like, I'm already invested in this, and now this is what I'm a part of.
Avenge me.
Oh God!
It's like, what's worse, the Warhammer or the furry kids?
another good content creator for Warhammer is if the Emperor had text to speech.
Oh, that's
Will
good.
got me on that, and I binged
Emperor had
the.
text to speech.
Yeah,
Are you talking
and-
about like a fake texting generator?
Well, 'cause
He
the
literally
Emperor-
has to.
I binged the whole
He
thing.
has to send out psychic, like,
Vox messages.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
it
This
is
is like
He's
a parody.
corpse. Literally,
Yeah,
like
he's a corpse on a throne.
Yeah.
that's what he is.
And a lot of the chaos people, your false emperor or your corpse on a throne.
Yeah, that's what they refer to him.
That's how they diss you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Just watch the first 5 episodes, and you're gonna love it. And then you're gonna start binging the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna be like,
yeah.
"Yo, Suburban, what's a good faction?"
Like, it's hilarious. And thank you, Will, for
Yeah.
recommending me that.
Hey,
So, like, you need to watch
he's
Emperor if
just
the Emperor
doing
had text to
Emperor's
speach.
will.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how he got me into this damn thing and whatnot. And he's now, and get this, Will wants me to run a tournament for Warhammer. I'm just
Yeah.
like, bro, I just do fighting games. I don't
You know,
want.
I was
Don't worry,
crying.
it's you
So
know you
it comes
plant
back
the
to
seed
Herb's
now.
talking about
So
the first ever Warhammer pop off. How do you pop off a Warhammer? Is the real question.
I mean, 30K, and then you're like, just like you did, you're like, "So who's the best Primarch,
yeah.
bro?"
Oh.
Because I mean, I play
Dude,
Sons of
wanna-
Horus.
I will
So
pop
to me,
up and I'll say, we're gone.
I'm gonna come out controversial and say maybe Horus was right.
No. The
Or-
Maybe I
cabal,
was right.
the cabal said Horus was right, and he would have realized that he would have fucked it all up, and then just destroyed humanity.
That's how we grow
Nah.
through destruction.
I don't know if you guys know
you know
that.
what, it's,
that
No, like I imagine someone popping off after winning a tournament, like celebrating, like with
Be like,
champagne,
"Yo, Gilliman sucks."
or just
all-
like a
all-
first
Gilliman
gentleman
does
handshake.
Well, not after his new
even
update.
well, now he's revived,
Yeah,
and then
it's-
got sick, and then the Emperor revived him.
I hate playing against Gilliman on the tabletop. It just
That's all right.
Speaking
All
of,
I have
I'm
to say
waiting-
is Magnus did nothing wrong, right?
Yeah. Well, he didn't do anything wrong. If you really think about it,
Yeah.
he tried. He tried his best.
Exactly. See, it's all, there's some key phrases of Warhammer you just say
You know
and it
what?
pops
and
off.
you know.
Trying his best.
I'm all about Thorius now. Really, he didn't do anything wrong. His
so
brother did.
with the opposite of popping off, are there people that get salty when they lose Warhammer?
Oh yeah, it's like you're
Oh,
fighting
definitely.
a game, like community. Like if you lose, you
I've
lose.
seen
you know what I
people
mean?
like
Like
destroy their model or throw it. and
it's
get
like
mad.
my
I'm just like,
$200 model.
Well, I'm definitely
it's more
guilty.
like 20 or 30 bucks.
Oh, okay, thank God.
I'm definitely guilty of getting salty after I lost. I played the U.S. Open in Orlando, and I was playing against this guy where I got a lot of points for killing a specific model, and I killed it. And he had some crazy rule where he's like, "Well, actually, it comes back if I roll above a 3," and it came back. So at the end of the game, I technically didn't kill that model, so I didn't get the points and I lost. But if I would have gotten those points, I would have won the match. And I was like, "Cool,
God damn.
fuck you." and I have to admit, I was super salty. I went over to the store and I said, "I'll take a box of those Marines."
I'll take whatever you got.
The purchase of shame.
Yeah. I was like, "Wow, that sucks. Give me one box."
That's it. That actually sounds normal for some people. They either buy something or get some food or something. Just like, yeah, let me just chill out.
Yeah.
But let me get this first.
Oh yeah. And I was with Chris again. He's not here, but shouts out to him. And he was like, "Bro, just walk it off, bud." I'm like, "All right."
We got a question from Herbs. He says, "Is it common for people to cheat in Warhammer?"
How the fuck do you cheat in Warhammer?
Unbeknownst, yeah. You can always like call somebody out. Like if you know the rules and somebody tries to like do a tomfoolery on you, and you know the rules, it's not gonna happen. But if you cheat by accident because you don't know the rules and you just let it slide, that's the only way.
If you're playing a casual game, I mean, it's a lot more. We're just hanging out, we're drinking some teas or whatever, we're just throwing some dice, cool. But at the tournament level, I played some matches where
Yeah, you better be on point.
it's like the guy made a save because he had a -2 to whatever, and I'm like, that guy does, and he goes, oh yeah, it's right here and this and that, and I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, oh no, it is, and I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, no, we really have rule books, and we can open them, and that's why I go over my list with my opponent, and they go over the list with mine before a tournament. This is
that's smart.
Another level, and and then points cost. You can say, oh, I can run 3 elites, but you can't. So now you're bringing a unit that you only couldn't bring that's overpowered, and I can't. So you're cheating.
So that's definitely cheating.
Hey, Will, I want you to look at this color right here.
And
the one in red.
Dice too. People are like, oh no, it was a 6.
Yeah, pretty much. How do you think I win herbs?
Yeah, exactly. There's people that count extra dice. It happens.
Like, in case someone rigs a dice or something?
I have never seen a dice rig, but I have seen people miscount rolls.
Why would you do that?
Well, because people
that petty. Are you that petty to play like a cool tabletop game to where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I've dealt with people that play Modern Warfare 4, and they are super petty.
But that's why, luckily, I mean, like whenever I play here, we're all hanging out, having fun.
Yeah,
nobody's sweating, trying to beat their opponent. Like I've lost almost 3 times in a row now to Gunther, and it's the best match I've ever played. Every single time.
He's got awesome.
The guy's an amazing player, and I'm like, I'm just having fun learning.
Yeah.
Also, the scenarios that he makes seems like.
Oh yeah. Gunther, one of the guys that plays here with us, he's like, his scenery and setup of the board is just like so like thematic and ties in. He sends me a whole story before we play, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, it makes it feel super D&D.
Yeah.
That's what I was ready to say. That sounds like a D&D scenario, but post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. We were sitting around playing D&D, and that's where he said the word and got me hooked.
That sounds like a silly question, but are there referees for these kind of tournaments?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually cool.
You can ask for a ref. They walk around. You can ask for a rules check, which I've had to do.
That's so nerdy. I love it.
Yeah. It's the best.
I gotta respect that.
Yeah,
I'm guessing the reason why is because some people don't know what the hell they're doing.
That too. If you don't know your army well enough, you could be like, oh, I thought I had exploding 6s. And it's happened to me again. I'm super guilty of all these things. I thought I could auto-explode. I had a strat where I could pay a certain amount of points to auto-explode a tank. Because if your tank explodes, it does damage to everything around it in a certain radius.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm going to sink this tank in. I'm going to auto-explode and blow up all his guys. Couldn't do it. And he goes, your army can't do that. And I said, yeah, I can. And he's like, no, you can't. Cracked open my rule book. Shit. No, I can't. Your turn.
Well.
Do you keep your points that you try to exchange, or they're already like thrown onto the table?
So I can pay points to activate a certain effect.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're called CP points, command points, and you generate them once per round.
Okay.
And you can do other things to generate more depending on what you're doing. Again, all strategy stuff.
Huh.
Interesting. So with that, we'll move on with our next topic, and that is thoughts on the upcoming Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. I think we touched on that a little bit, and I think we're all in agreement that we're excited for it. We do want to see where they're going to go with the story, make a really good campaign, and just don't try to focus so much on just multiplayer aspects of it. Just like give us a really good campaign, something that's, I would say the pacing has to be good, but good enough to where it's like, okay, I could spend like a good 30 hours on this or even more.
Yeah, like...
Oh, I hate to interrupt you, but I have a hard feeling, or I don't think they're going to be able to push out 30 hours of content on Space Marines. Well, a lot of games are having issues with that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Like the new weird offshoot of Dead Space.
Oh, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, it's lacking. And it's supposedly like an 8-hour, 10-hour like run through. Mm-hmm. There's no plus new. So I have a feeling, like, I'm hoping it stays in development as long as it can, just to push out campaign content.
Yeah.
What I liked about Space Marine 1, it was not multiplayer
focused.
Yeah. So I hope they continue that, but I would like to see a multiplayer on it, like what they did, but expanded on.
Okay. Well,
I was just gonna say that I was like, I know people they focus on PvP, but like Warhammer is more of a lore game type. So I was like, hopefully just focus on the campaign and not PvP is good, but Warhammer at the end of the day is lore. Like most of the people that are gonna track is that I want to see the universe, not PvP. even though it is, you know, nowadays that's how they make their money is through the PvP. So there is going to be PvP.
I mean, I would say why not? And if you want to, you know, take it a step further, probably introduce another faction and have another story tied to the game, so that way there's just, you know, more content.
Blood Ravens were made for, I'm pretty sure, was it Blood Ravens that was for Dawn of War?
For THQ, yeah. Blood Ravens.
Yeah,
those are the poster boys. People hate them.
Yeah.
I love them.
But they were they were made for that game, to push that game.
Yes, they are the poster boys of Dawn of War, which I'm okay with, but I would love to see a proper RTS again. Maybe with Call of Duty 3 coming out, Relic could maybe take the mantle again and do something good with the Dawn of War franchise. But that's my opinion.
Hunter?
So, I mean, I want to see more story because, like Will said, it is, you know, lore at the core of Warhammer. Right. I mean, I'm a fan of PvP. You know, I'm a huge Call of Duty guy, and so, like, for me, PvP is super important, but maybe not in a Warhammer game. You know, we can sweat on the tabletop, shouldn't have to sweat online. So, I mean, again, like, just like I said with Darktide, I want to see that story push a little bit more. Same thing for Space Marine 2. They've got a lot of stuff at their disposal as far as lore and story and stuff that they can do. And like you said, I wanted to stay in development as long as possible. I'm willing to wait for an awesome Warhammer game. And I think we're all, you know, willing to wait for a good product that we can enjoy for more than 8 hours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if there was a 30-hour campaign all day,
Maybe another year or two.
2 years, man. Awesome.
Okay, all right. Next topic: what would be your ideal Warhammer game you would like to see on console and PC? We'll start off with Hunter.
I mean, honestly, it would be Space Marine 2 because, like, we were playing Darktide, and I think I even said it on stream. I was like, man, I wish I could be a Space Marine. I literally said, I'm like, man, this would be so cool if I was a Space Marine. He goes, yeah, Space Marine 2, man. And I'm like,
Well,
that's trailer. Yeah, and then so I mean that's why I'm hoping so bad that Space Marine 2 is everything that I want it to be, because like that gets me excited. You know, cool giant space suits, and you know, one of my armies is a Space Marine army, and it would be just really cool to play as them. Maybe get a little Death Watch DLC.
Oh,
I would definitely pay it.
Please,
I would definitely pay
$9.99
for a Death Watch DLC skin.
Yes.
You know, so for me, it's going to be Space Marine 2 if it comes out the way that I hope and, you know, think it is.
Give me a chain sword and a heavy bolter.
That's all I want. That's it. Multi-melta. That's it.
There you go.
Will, what about you? What would be your ideal Warhammer game?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that. You said yesterday, and yeah, you have been, was it bragging or saying I've been playing a lot of Tarkov? Yeah, I've been starting playing Escape from Tarkov, but I love like the full looters. Mm-hmm. I really love, like, you know, you get shot, you lose everything, so that's like a little bit more of a like risk versus reward. But I was thinking about, like, even a survival horror, because the thing about Warhammer, like, it's a very grim, dark, you know, I would love to see like a survival horror against like Tzeentch, which is like the god of change. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like Tarkov, you go into mission, but the thing is, because it's the god of change, everything changes. Like in the lore, like Tzeentch is, nothing's the same, like always messes with your head. So you walk into a building and the building's like, the walls are flesh, but it's always changing. So it's just like a horror survival.
You're an Imperial Guard.
Yeah. I would be like, because the thing is, yeah, I love Space Marines, but it's like
they get too much shine.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I love Darktide.
Yeah, they actually got shitted on as far as the tabletop recently.
Yeah, like Darktide, I think it was good because it gave us the other, like, you know, guard. You got the ogre, and you got, you know, the other. There's more than just Space Marines. Yeah. Like Space Marines are very elite. Like in the lore, like you see one, and you're like, oh crap, like
run.
You better start.
Wow, this is God.
But the thing is, if a Space Marine goes to your planet, like it's like one of those. Why are they here? Like something's coming.
Shit's
like,
going down.
Yeah, shit's going down.
I think
like,
they were saying the average life expense, the life
expectancy.
Yes, thank you. For a human citizen is like 40 to 48.
Yeah, it's not
Imperial.
Yeah, and it really depends on what planet you are too. So it's like
if you're a Krieg, you're like 12.
You're getting blown off from the infantry. Yeah, they put you in the war. They cool. Shoot.
Here, can you put on a gas mask and you can hold this gun?
Get in the trench.
Yep. Can you hold a shovel?
And then Night Lords, there's no light on the Night Lords planet.
Oh,
Their
yeah,
eyes are
right.
literally just black because they
can't
don't
see
need light.
yeah.
So whenever they go into like a dimly light room, they're like blinded.
But I agree, that would be pretty cool.
I guess survival horror because it's like there's so many settings. Like you said, Night Lords. It's like perfect example. Like survival horror. Like you're trying to like survive a Night Lord. Like
There'd be so
you know what I
many
mean?
planets that you could just be like, here you go.
Yeah,
You're on a
exactly.
hive world.
Yeah.
Like, what are you just gonna do with a flashlight? You can. That's your only weapon.
Be like Alien. Was it the Alien Annihilation? No, was it
Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Something like that would be.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Like a gene stealer instead of like Alien. So it's like there's so many survival horror things you could think of for 40K. Even I don't even like horror games, but I'm like that would be such a great scenario. Like we will be playing Dead Space
in
Senpai.
VR.
Fuck you.
Herb's got actually a good question, Silver.
Yeah, I saw it. I was gonna ask after Sean's point of view. Like, what would be your ideal Warhammer game on console and PC?
I would like a remapped Dawn of War 1 mixed with Total War. Like, Warhammer Total War has been pretty solid for the fantasy. Like, they come out with 3 iterations, and they're all freaking solid. I would like for Sega to step up and make another badass Dawn of War.
Sega.
Please, Sega, do it for me.
Oh, we don't
And all your fans, but mostly for me.
All right, with the questions, Herbs asked, what other community would you have been in if Warhammer didn't exist?
What other community?
Gunpla.
No.
God.
D&D.
No. To be honest, like Warhammer is like kind of like the only thing that like there's nothing like there is
Battletech.
but yeah, maybe.
I'd definitely probably be hard on for BattleTech, just because it's been around. Just
What's BattleTech?
MechWarrior.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Little robots instead.
Yeah, they're like. What's weird is they have.
Wait till I show you
multiple
those,
books.
bud.
They have
I'm gonna
multiple
search for it
books,
now beforehand.
Allure 2, which is I think I have like 45 books.
They
that
have.
was
I think
given.
they actually have like a manga as well for.
Yes.
What?
And too bad Robotech wasn't like anything special on tabletop, but yeah, that's where I would have went.
Okay.
I have a super weird one because before, like I said, I'm primarily into art and everything, but I was and still am a sponsored fingerboarder. Yeah. So I was sponsored by Tech Deck for a few years. And,
I've never met anyone that actually did that.
Yeah. So anytime you'd go on their Instagram, you see the videos of the people skating with their fingers. It was probably me. And I was sponsored by Tech Deck for a couple years, and I, handmade boards, everything like that. So I was into that hobby, and I still am. I don't ride for Tech Deck anymore. I stepped down, but I do ride for another company called Peak Fingerboards. They're my wheel sponsor. I have my own signature wheels. But that was my hobby before Warhammer, and now that Warhammer's here, I just do both.
That's extremely unique. That's the first time I've heard someone say that.
Yeah, it's a really niche community. But it's a lot of fun when you're sitting at your desk and you just shred it, bro.
I'd be scared to have arthritis, man. Like, you would lose your jaw.
I stretch. I do finger calisthenics.
I figured you would have to. Yeah.
I got the grippies.
Oh, dude, the things I saw you do, just.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's holy 2000s right there.
Yeah, like I'd be just sitting here, just like do a little grind.
Holy 2000s, what I call it. I'm
It was
not
the
wrong.
holy era.
You know what? I remember Pogs back in the 2000s when I was
Wow,
young.
that's something new. What's a new one?
Pogs. Yeah, I'd be pretty big in the Pog community. Pogs.
I used to be.
Well, I did have my ideal Warhammer game, and that is you can start off with 3 different factions, and then they each have like their own individual like outcomes, pretty much. Like any 3 factions you start off with, I was gonna say Ultramarines, Black Templar, and Salamanders, just starting off, and then I would say your enemy faction would be whatever out of those 3, and then you have like different paths.
So they're worst hated chaos buddies. or their worst hated like Legion or what do you call it? Loyalists.
Yeah, like something unique to where people not only know about these different factions, but they also know about these other ones as well, like the opposing side. And then of course there's like some lore behind each of them, and why is it that
why they're so pissed off.
Yeah, why they're coming at each other.
That's why I was saying against their traitor counterparts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of rivals.
Fucking
damn, your ideas are way better than mine.
Wolf fucking dudes against fucking Magnus, man.
Oh,
That
yeah.
dude's such a dick.
There's a lot of like
The wolf boys are
and
fucking
like
dicks.
Dorn. There's a lot of different legions have different rivals with others.
Yeah. That's
Sorry,
one thing that I noticed about Warhammer is like they have like their rival factions.
Who is I'm sorry, the Salamanders is it Corax?
Oh yeah, Conrad.
Yeah, he kept killing that dude. So that would be his worst.
And like Oryx and the what's his name with the red claw.
That would work very well.
I've seen a lot of pictures of that guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yarrick.
Yeah, Yarrick.
Yeah, because
he's only dead.
Yeah.
for someone like myself, and I have to put myself in a position like if I wanted to get into this interesting universe, how would I be able to consume the lore very easily? And I think by doing it in a way of starting off, you have these different factions that you can start off with, and then as you play the game, you learn the game, you also get to learn about the lore of Warhammer. Granted, there's way more to it than just what the game is offering you, but you can get into it very quick and easy, learn about it, and then be like, okay, I want to play another faction and see that direction where that goes.
It kind of like opens up the door for you to be like, cool, this is my introduction to Warhammer. What else is over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Just get you in.
And it's funny because like the grudges, like it didn't stop. So you think about 30K started the heresy, all the way to 40K. It's like 10,000 years of grudges against different legions.
They're so angry.
And there's like even like I said, books about different stuff, and like you'll still see the grudges go throughout these. Yeah.
Well, it's when the loyalists and the separatists are heading it up. It's like, I came because I have blood oath with you. I don't want to be here, but here I am fighting against the loyalists.
Damn, and here I am thinking about like an online tabletop game to help people. Like you can just buy your own little miniature figures you can move around and have a whole documentary explaining.
I mean, that would be the ideal approach. Yes,
for tabletoppers.
Yeah, for tabletoppers to where they can play it online,
which they do offer a tabletop.
But I think with
actually, yes,
TTS. We have a channel in the Discord for TTS if anybody wants to play, and we have links to set up you download some packs to your computer, and it sets up like any model you want. And you can you can build your list on your phone, take it from your thing, and just load it straight in.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you can literally play Warhammer for free if you own Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, and Tabletop Simulator goes on sale for like $4 all the time.
What?
Yeah, and you can play online against your buds.
Okay, that saves me more money than buying figures and painting, but it sounds more fun doing it offline anyways.
But when you get your foot in,
you can also
remember to buy from here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I buy it?
Buy your glue, buy your minis from
Why
friends.
wouldn't I buy it here?
I don't know.
And even if they don't have what you're looking for, you can always hit up Will. Will can always order something specifically for you, and that's usually how I do it.
But to caveat what you said back a while back, granted, was it Waluigi about the online aspect?
Online aspect.
I would say for gamers coming in, because most gamers are very casual and they want something that's gonna just easily grab them in and just take them for a ride, and then of course they get to do a couple of action stuff here and there, get a lot of kills, and then of course there's some story explanation. I think that's what, for the casual audience, they would want that, so that way it gets them into the game, not into the game, but it gets them into the lore more easier. Like they're able to consume it a lot easier. And I think with Warhammer Space Marine, I think that's how a lot of casual gamers got into Warhammer, was through that game. And I think with Space Marine 2, we'll see that shift where casual gamers are going to pick up this game, they're going to play it, they like it, they enjoy it, they learn about it, and now they'll be like, okay, I want to learn more about Warhammer. And then that's when they get introduced to the tabletop aspect of it, and then, continue on from there.
So what do you mean by casual gamers? Like console?
Yes.
Like first, okay.
Non-competitive in a way.
Yeah, like they don't, they don't compete. They just play games just to play games. Or what, just
Total War. I keep voicing this out. If you guys are into real-time strategy with like big armies, like it's set in fantasy era, it is top notch.
I'll have to check it out.
Like it's thousands of troops with monsters, like Pegasus. People have guns. Zombies, like the mod community is insane. Like, they go on sale quite often. So they have Warhammer Total War 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the most current. You can actually get 3 on Xbox Pass if you have it. But you don't get any of the sweet mods you would get if you owned it on Steam. But there's ways around that if you know how to like pretty much edit your files. But that saying, it is a very nice casual game. You can go at your own pace.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to give that a look and check that out. So with that said, going on to our last and final topic of the night, pet peeves. I know you three have some pet peeves when it comes to Warhammer, especially you, Will.
Ready.
Too many Nurglings. Stop being chaos Nurgles. Come on! There's more than that. Sorry, Vermintide. And Darktide.
Will, you have any pet peeves?
I was literally going to say that. Because that, like you said, I'm a chaos player. So this, like, there's more other chaos factions than Nurgle. So it's just, like, that's one of them. Like I said, I would love to see, like a Night Lord or a Khorne Berserker, or you know what I mean, or Iron Warrior try like.
I'd like to see a Sneech Demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop up and be like, "Hey,
We don't see enough Tzeentch.
I got tentacles in one boob."
Telling this to a normal person like me is just like, what did you just say?
Well, yeah, Tzeentch's got a lot of changing stuff going on, and then Slaanesh. We don't want to touch Slaanesh. That's a whole nother.
I know about the lore. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So you know about the tentacles.
I know enough.
I know enough.
You can never know enough.
I know a very brief amount. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you know what? You'll get sucked
It's
in.
not a door you want to open.
No, thank you.
It's actually really good listening, bro.
It's good to listen to, but to play into it, I'm not ready yet because I still have a gunpla I haven't even touched.
I'm gonna send you.
Those all went into my closet.
Of the lore of one of my favorite, like tragic factions, the World Eaters. The guy that actually narrates it and reads from the books, it's pretty solid. And you don't have to watch it or listen to it when you got a chance. So
I do when I'm driving. It's the best.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm driving anywhere, I just put on any kind of lore.
When I'm trying to sleep, I'm just like, I know this.
And if you have Audible, you get your free book a month.
Yep.
Spend it on that 10-hour Warhammer thing.
That's what I got.
It'll keep you busy all month.
I got the Necron stuff. That's what I'm all about.
You're still doing my Necron.
Silent King.
Yeah.
So, what about tabletop pet peeves? Because I know you guys play the tabletop as well for Warhammer.
And stuff.
What about the pet peeves?
Warhammer community smells fairly decent. Yeah.
Yeah, we get lucky because the people that we play with are pretty hygienic.
Yeah, like everybody here. Yeah, I think we're all pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I haven't hugged up on him as I'm throwing dice, but.
But if he reaches over me, I don't smell him.
If I can't smell you from across the table, I think we're.
Be like your own hands.
Yeah.
For the God Emperor.
Just slapping people with deodorant for the Emperor.
I have no pet peeve.
Good.
Really?
That's,
I would say.
actually positive to hear.
Trying to think.
No angry people.
As far as
Like something that annoys you about Warhammer.
if I'm playing a casual match.
I'm surprised y'all don't mention GameWorks in their nonsense, but
Oh, that's another. That's
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just a shitty company doing shitty things. That's not really a pet peeve.
Are we talking about products? Because I mean, if we're talking about tabletop, I mean, it's just half and half a rules lawyer. I mean, if we're playing a casual game, let's just have fun, man. You know, if shit, -1 to cup, who cares? Let's just roll some dice, man.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're just here to enjoy a game.
Just hanging out, throwing dice. looking
We're
at
not,
each
we're, not,
other minis.
we're not playing tournaments.
No.
And usually that's what it is. It's like, oh man, you've done this.
Yeah. But I mean, when I play, I like to try to.
Kick somebody's ass.
No, not only that, but I like to
Somebody's
think of how can I make that work in a tournament situation, just because that's how my mind is. I'm in the competitive scene, so I want to improve while I'm playing, but I'm still having fun, so I'm not sweating too hard. But I mean, if you want to talk product, yeah, I got a lot of...
Go on. We want to know.
Job. I mean,
They've been charging way too much for their low quality products.
Yeah,
Really?
and, there's one thing they did one thing. And I was just like, really, what is it? And it's more on the business side for like the independent stores. I'm not sure if it's supposedly came into effect already, but as like the business owners, because there's third party retails and then there's the Gamers Workshop store.
Oh yeah.
So on the third party retails, they bumped up their price 5% but so it's just like, and he only did it for the third party retailers and not Games Workshop. So it was just like, okay, so you're cutting out of my profit for what? You know what I mean? And then about a year ago, they bumped up all the prices 25-30%.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. All the prices went up.
Bro, that's the real
And
war.
it's just like, I'm
You know
like,
what? I'm glad I got my 3D printer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amen to that.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me.
3D printers are really good, and I mean, like, luckily, all the
Saturn,
prices
the
did go
Jupiter,
up. You know.
To be honest, I've gotten so many better 3D files from certain people than what Games Workshop
like,
has
because you-
produced. Like
people
me,
listen to the community that do like the 3D printing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I literally just bought a 3D print because I was like, that's a really nice
I've
model.
had one for a while, and I can go on about this as well.
Well, this is you have a filament, right?
Oh no, I have both resin and FDM.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could literally print your own army out, which
Yes.
I'm doing.
Which is
for my
what I'm doing for
salamanders.
Senpai. You know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
What kind of?
I literally have.
Wait,
at
what resin
least-
do you use anyways?
My
I'm using.
Because I just use any cubic, clear.
That's what you use.
I think I'm using any cubic.
I'm using
Yeah.
transparent
I
resin.
use gray. Gray's pretty big.
Yeah, right, gray. I like.
Yeah, great.
But like,
Strict.
I'm looking forward to printing my Primarch for my salamanders. It cost me $20 for the file, and over what for Forge World?
Forge World, yeah, 140.
So yeah, Forge
$146.
World is a whole another
That's
level.
another-
Fuck is Forge World?
that file
It's
looks
resin
so
from them.
much
This
better.
is plastic, but then Forge World has the resin kits.
Oh yeah.
my
10
my
times
print
expensive.
would look so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have some like. There's in the case behind us. There's a Forge World, like one of my.
I don't want to
like
take
the
away from
Harridan, and it's just
GW,
like-
but get it together.
I'm a huge GW fanboy,
too.
but I don't appreciate some of the price raising. But what they have given us are launch boxes, which is something we haven't really seen too much of.
True.
Which is what kind of catapulted my new army, because like I said, I have 2 right now that are over 2,000 points. But I started a 3rd one just because the value of the box was so good for what you got in it. You get the Codex, which is the rule book for that army.
Okay.
You get at least 500 points of that army, which is enough to get on the table. Because it's usually anywhere from 500 to 2,000 in the game you're playing. So you get the rule books, you get the combat cards, which are just little snippets of what's already in the book.
Oh,
Just
okay.
fast, combat cards. And
good.
you get your plastic transfer sheets, and for what you're getting for the price is, in a lot of cases, worth it. You know, I got 500 points of Votan for a really good price that we had here.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole Games Workshop stuff. Yeah, that's pet peeves. It's like one of those. It shouldn't need to be. If you're trying to get, it's hard to. The thing is, it's hard. Like people always say, well, you guys sell combat patrols, but I'm like, it's hard when you try and get someone who's new and like they see that price point of $80-$95 a combat troll, but they bumped up 20-30%. Now it's $125 a combat patrol. So it's just like you're trying to get new people in, but the price, like people always say, well, you only need to buy one army, then you're set. I'm like, yes, but even that first initial step of 128, that's
It's
a
still
decent,
big
like,
point.
if a kid wants to, to come and they show their parents, like, hey, I want to play 40K, but here's a $125 box, which is not even, exactly.
Yeah, I would not either.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like one of those pet peeves that you want people in your hobby, but you're pricing them out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
explain it to me. So the kid doesn't even know enough to explain it to the parent to be like, oh, this is what I'm interested in.
And that's not
And then
including the paints and the brushes.
there's other supplies,
and
yeah.
It's a lot to
supplies,
digest.
the-
Yeah,
and
definitely,
the rule
definitely.
books and all
The rule
the other-
books and the codex can kill you, but as you said, the
these launch boxes that they've been coming out with for different armies, and then like especially around like the holiday time, I know they just released like Christmas boxes, and for the price point, the price point is high,
$225,
but the value that you're getting in the box for what it is, from a tabletop standpoint, I mean,
that Primarch better have a fucking Santa hat or something.
It's worth it. I mean, if not, I can print you one.
The thing is,
actually, I could print you
and they're
multiple Santa hats. I'll print you one big Santa hat.
One giant Santa hat. It's 500 points to field.
Yeah.
And that's the whole another, like the pet piece of that. It's like the whole false scarcity that Games Workshop does. Like in my order days,
we can't give it to you.
Yeah,
because we didn't print up enough. It's
like I literally, my order days for Games Workshops are on Mondays, so I put all my orders in. Like I was talking to my rep last week, I was like, Christmas boxes, I need a certain amount because people pre-ordered. I called them today, and they're like, oh, we just ran out of all these boxes. I'm like, yeah, but like literally
the
running the shop
is real.
And I'm like, literally, like, I wanted to pre-order. You knew this. I was like, why didn't you tell me last week so I could have done it last week?
They didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So it's like
there's also like
it's all the crappy logistics.
Yeah, and there's also like third-party shops that you can buy from, which I've found a lot of my niche units from online. And you know, it's overseas and shipping's a little much, but you know, if you're looking for that,
at the end of the day, man, you're cutting costs like crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm buying like a good amount of units, I'm always going to go combat patrol. I'm always going to go
for sure, especially if you're doing a tournament proper armies. You have to run GW.
Yeah.
Unless if you're super sneaky and
I was going to ask about tournament wise.
They will find you.
If you're playing a Games Workshop sponsored event like the US Open or anything like that, your miniatures have to be
GW.
Games Workshop.
Okay.
You can't have 3D printed. But if you're playing like a local or you're playing something like that,
playing a tournament here,
we're playing a tournament here. You know,
we're all chill.
It's still going to be a sanctioned tournament, but they're a little bit more lax on what they have. Everything doesn't have to be what you see is what you get, which means the model is modeled with a melta. That's got a melta. You know, you can't be like, no, that's a last cannon. You know, so they're a little bit stricter on that. But no, I mean, if you're playing locals, it's a little bit more lax depending on the location.
It sounds very laxed.
The U.S. Open is a whole other world. I mean, me and Chris, shouts out again, my boy, in Orlando for 3 days, doing this tournament. We played 12 hours a day. It was
12
mentally
hours a day.
Mentally taxing on our brains. Yeah. I didn't play for like a week after that. I was just like, I need to sleep and never.
Did you bring like a whole roller book bag or something?
I have a metal toolbox, and I magnetize all my bases.
That's smart.
And I magnetize them in there.
That's what scares me the most. Just thinking about all the figures you worked hard on.
I've watched Chris. Whole box in Orlando at the U.S. Open. We're coming back from lunch, running to the hall. All of a sudden, it just goes down, and I go,
How much pro?
And he plays orcs, so he runs a bunch of different mods. It's a horde army, and like we're sitting there. I think his plane, like one of the things fell off, and like one of his Gretchen like lost an arm, and we're sitting there with accelerating little super glue trying to get it together so we can get it on the table. Yeah, because he can't field him with no arm, because he's like sitting there trying to get it all together.
Glue set, please.
Yeah,
you got 3 seconds.
He's sitting there like. It was funny, man.
Painful.
Yeah.
That must have been like one of the most awkward experiences.
I watched it in slow motion.
Like you watched somebody die down a little bit.
Because we busted a mission to go to like a Home Depot or Lowe's to get like a rolly tray. Nobody had them because he had these boxes that were stacked of just all his minis because he runs a horde army. So he's got like 70 to 100 minis, and it's it's nuts.
Yeah, dude. I got 120 warriors that I want to field.
That's a layer of chaos.
That's only
its own.
It's 1,400 points.
Yeah.
And I can field more with the list that I have.
Yeah, I'm running 30 in my new army, 30 warriors plus.
Very easy to do a big span.
Yeah, 30K. I was running 50 attack marines and 30K yesterday.
Oh yeah, you're playing 3,000 points. Though.
Yeah, but that's just the regular marines. That's not including vehicles and everything else. That's
how many vehicles did you run?
Like 6.
That's disgusting. Just imagine 6 of these just coming at you.
I would just be like, do you go outside at all, my guy?
But remember, you might be one of these.
Yeah.
You might be a super soldier.
Well, no, you've got a bunch of those in those, and it's a mess.
Jesus.
I do remember, I think months ago, or maybe earlier this month, or maybe it was like late last month, with gamers, when Games Workshop started to go after content creators. They were creating Warhammer content, and I was like, why would the hell they do this?
You're literally going after the people that are feeding you new people.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Oh, yeah. I have never understood
like Brother
that.
Alpha Boost, Emperor's Text Speech. I know, like, the whole community list went, like, cut through GW when they went after...
They must have felt awkward.
Yeah, people were pissed. Like, like
I remember that
when they went after him. Like, just reading the forums online, this like just people just going after games. Just he was like, oh no, you mess with Emperor had text to speech. People were going crazy.
Oh yeah,
because that's been was it been a couple years? He's been running that for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also went after the online printing community as well over at 3D Prints or 3D Cult Prints.
Yeah.
Cold's 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know about
anything that had any kind of like keyword like Imperium or like Space Marine. They I guess handed them like cease and desist or like takedown notices. But they left the ones up that were free. It was only the ones they were monetizing.
Yeah. The ones that are making
And the thing
money
is,
off of
like the files.
Their licensing, their license.
Oh,
I
trust me,
understand,
like,
but I mean, if you bought a 3D printer, let them have it.
exactly.
Trust me, you're never really going to delete those files.
One day,
Exactly.
I actually might go buy that file because I care enough about what you do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd rather have a GW file of the thing that I printed right here.
And
Or if
I'd
GW
rather
comes out with
support a guy
files.
that's distributing it properly, or even model it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I have
the artist has to work hard for that, and I understand that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have an HQ that was completely modeled for my Flesh Tears. That was completely modeled from scratch, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, we know Rick, one of my friends. He literally hired a guy to model something for his Dark Angels.
Yeah, and it came out
Literally from
really
scratch.
good.
Damn.
Came out really, really good.
Yeah, that model's
That's how I
nice.
feel about
Interesting.
my Primarch on the Salamanders.
Yeah.
He looks like not a model that I've ever seen before.
Damn. The loyalty to this game is greater than the Emperor. I think.
That is so corny.
It is.
So-
I couldn't help myself.
All right, so last question before we wrap up, and that is for you three. How would you get a newcomer, someone that's just, they come walking into Flynn's, they see what you guys are doing, how would you get them into the game? Starting off with Hunter.
So I mean, if I'm sitting there rolling dice and they walk up and they're looking over, they ask me what is this? I just tell them this is Warhammer. It's a tabletop war game. You like blowing stuff up. You like rolling dice, and then I just show them the wall of all the different minis. Ask them which one looks cool to you. That's what I did. And and then just explain a little bit about whatever faction they seem interested in, and say if you want to learn more, always come over to Flynn's Discord, hop in the Warhammer chat. You got guys like Blandish, Will, me, a bunch of other guys that aren't here right now that would be more than happy to help them out with any modeling questions, lore questions, and I'd probably just send them on their way with a YouTube video that got me into it, which was just the beginning of Warhammer. And it's like how not how it all started, but in a sense how things got rolling, but after the Horus Heresy.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
No, that's how I got Hunter and Chris into Warhammer. I was like, Chris was like, hey, okay, you like D&D, you're big, you like horde armies, okay, orcs. He likes D&D. Hunter, I think I'm pretty sure me and Chris got him through a video. Literally, we just sent him home. And I get a text at like 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "Oh man, I've been like binge watching all these videos." And I was like, "Wow, that was quick." So it was just like,
awesome.
and the thing is, it happened to me too because I love Alien. Like that's how I got in sci-fi. And my friend Rick, he was like, he likes Gundam, and he's like, "Okay, Tau, big robots, like we Taus." Okay, then he's like, I was looking into it, and I was like, "Okay, Tyranids are literally like Alien."
yeah.
It was just like that one thing of like, okay, what are you interested in? There's a faction for you. So that's like read or watch a video of that, or that's how I got into it. I know I talked to Chris and Hunter about it, and I'm pretty sure that's how they got into it. So it's just one of those, the lore. It really is that deep. Like there's nothing like it. As you think about it, it's like 30 years of lore. It's like Star Wars. Like it has that deep lore that you don't really find nowadays.
Dune.
Yeah.
Like not only is it a cool thing, but like it also has an entire backstory. Like
Yeah, exactly.
you get to have these cool models, but they also have a story that you can fall in love with.
You don't have to.
Sean, you.
All right, I guess I'll start with my little origin story with playing Dawn of War 1 and then playing Dawn of War 2 with the Necron DLC, and that got me into wanting to have Necron warriors. And I go and hang out with my buddy, and he's just like, hey, check out these robot dudes I got. And I'm like, wait, they made models for this? And then here I am, into the Warhammer world. And I remember coming here and painting, and you came up and I was painting Death Watch. And you're like, yo, what are those guys? And I'm like, oh, these are super xenophobic, like dudes, but they use like xeno weapons. And,
I need it.
And I'm like, that's pretty contradicting. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? Who cares? They're out to kill xenos, so
That sounds normal.
yeah. And I just remember coming here and painting stuff, and people asking me what I was doing, and then I explained the lore to them, and they're just like, oh wow, that is very expansive. So I would do the same again. Show them built model, unbuilt model, painted model, and then go from there like I did, and like explain a little bit of the lore, give them info on what to check out, and go from there.
Okay.
And if you're really interested, there's a lot to dive into, and a lot of people that you can relate to, and or not to relate to, and or hate them because love to hate them, if that makes sense. Because there's chaos entities that I hate, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta love you a little bit. Like Papa Nurgle.
Man, that is a lot of Warhammer tonight, y'all. That is a lot, and
Damn.
there's still more.
I feel like we just covered barely a tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
Just scrape this.
and that's okay.
Yeah. So for those that are watching or listening, if you want to learn Warhammer, by all means, visit the Flynn's Discord and be a part of it, and just head on over to the Warhammer channel, and they will take care of y'all.
Hell yeah.
And of course, visit Flynn's here, where you can pick up model kits and build them, play with them here on the table, learn how to play the game, and still you'll be taken care of. But as we've covered on this podcast, it's like there's still a lot more to this game than just the tabletop, and of course then what you play on PC and console. There's still more to this, and granted, you may think you may know all, but it's just like there's more than just that. It's like it's not enough. It's forever expanding.
I don't know enough, and I'm pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, I don't think any of us will ever know enough.
I don't even know that much, and it's just like, man, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to the point. Like, as Waluigi said earlier, like this is longer than One Piece,
Yeah.
way longer, and that's
Still
because
running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there's so many different factions. You have your gods as well, and it just continues to keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and you're just like, where do I
Yeah.
even begin? Where do I even start? And I guess it's as y'all three have mentioned, just start off with one that interests you, and then just go from there. I hope I got that right.
No, I mean that's definitely
That sounds accurate.
awesome.
Even though I'm not a Warhammer player.
Yeah, whichever one just catches your eye, just go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what
definitely.
we
And
did.
just check out their lore too. So if you like orcs, the Eldar, the Necrons, the
Tyranids.
Tyranids, the Dark Eldar,
Dark
the Krathi.
I am not going to spell all of this right, but I'm interested.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if you have any questions about different factions or legions, there's
Yes.
literally one of us in Discord that plays that army or
Yeah.
is favored to that legion or whatever. You know,
Okay.
we've got Imperium players in there.
Listen, legions
Eldar,
are on
Xenos.
another. Yeah.
Yeah,
And even like talking lore right now in the lore,
Yes.
as of this moment, like it's about to pop off because this beginning to wind down to 9th and beginning of the 10th.
Yeah, with the
And then-
Dominus Crusade too.
Yeah, and then another quote unquote Primarch coming back. So it's one of those. If you're like the lore, it's gonna be.
All right.
It's gonna be.
Who do you think the next Primarch's going to be?
No, it's gonna be the Lion.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, you know they're producing
That's
a
why-
model for them.
Yeah, that's why I said like
Definitely
if you want to know the lore right now, it's like it's about to.
Yeah, like
Get
things are
really
about to
interesting.
go down.
Yeah.
The Imperial
Nice.
Man is about to fucking pop it.
Yeah.
Even though
Oh, again.
Gillimon and the Lions are gonna probably butt heads, but
It's gonna be lore wise very
cool.
interesting for the next year.
sweet.
So.
Valdi's
The Necrons-
Legions, there's a lot of traitors.
I hope there are. I hope the Necrons have more prominent.
All right. So that being said, final words for you guys, starting off with Hunter.
Again, you know, if you have any questions about the lore or anything about the modeling side, painting, you know, advice, you can always hop on over to Flynn's Discord. We'll be more than happy to help you. If not me, some of the other guys there. And I hope that, if not, you know, one person, there's somebody, you know, gets interested in Warhammer via video games or, you know, the hobby side. Definitely welcome, and, you know, hope that you keep going.
All right. Well,
No, just like I said, Warhammer is very interesting. It's one of those like if you're busy, it helps you take your mind off stuff. Like you said, if you like deep lore, it's very, like you said, it's very interesting. Very gets your mind off things. It's good and like kind of sit back, relax, enjoy, you know, a different type of hobby. It's a very different type of hobby.
okay.
I agree with Will with building. Mostly painting is one of the most relaxing things that has helped me get out of my own mind. Especially if I can't sleep, I'll paint for like an hour. I zonk out. But I want to say, check out this book called The Infinite and the Divine. It's literally about two ancient robots that troll each other.
They have a grudge.
It is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Star-Crossed Lovers.
Millions of years old in the Warhammer universe. It's hilarious.
Think about two old men fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I actually saw it in Barnes and Noble.
All right. Waluigi, any final thoughts?
Warhammer is something you definitely got to watch some YouTube videos, support your locals, and if you're into 3D printing, just do it. It's a lot to take in. Wow, I'm actually
Yeah.
speechless. Like I didn't know there was a lot to take in and digest.
It's funny, yeah. We're very open to 3D printing too here too. So, I know some people are like, but I'm like, I think all four of us have 3D printers. So,
Yeah.
we're all pretty.
I'm biased.
I'll tell you it's 3D printed.
I'll send you
yeah.
the
I'm
files.
not gonna say it's.
And if you got a problem with it, I'm cool with it. I won't be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have bills to pay.
Honestly, it's fun for fun. I mean, I won't play them in tournaments, but again, there's no hate.
Yeah.
Never any hate.
Like I just say, like support your local events. Make sure you find some people to reach out if you want to learn about Warhammer. Check out YouTube videos. There's a lot of resources to these kind of tabletop gaming or the game itself. I'm looking forward for Space Marine 2. It actually looks good. That'll be my first Warhammer video game I play.
Nice.
If I actually remember to pre-order it.
All right, y'all. With that being said, this has been episode 67 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are signing out.
Peace.
Yep.